let's start with some cabling now. Alright, here we go with the, okay, we have that fan connected, and now we have this fan connected, so let's go ahead, push this back. Now remember, with the Arctic fans, they did that incredible thing that people should have done a long time ago, where they allow you to daisy chain the connectors. So for example, I know we need to install the video card and the PCIe SSD. We're going to skip that just for right now, since we do have to run some cables into that. So first I'm going to focus on all the cabling and then get back to that in one sec. So now, you remember we did all the liquid cooling connectors, and they have that great technology that someone should have thought of eons ago that allows you to daisy chain the connections. Like right here, I have this guy that I need to connect right in here. So the three other fans are already connected right here. So, alright, so now all that's connected. That's drawing power from the motherboard. Okay, and the very last one, I missed it. This guy right here. It's great the way they did that. So simple. Actually, let me put it behind there. No, I'll keep it in the front. Okay. So now there is this one fan that needs power, the rear fan. So I'm just going to fish this cable through here, pull it all the way through. Alright, and just plug it into the fan header they have up here. Alright. Alright, and now I'm going to go ahead, plug in the front fan. If you remember, in the front we connected the two liquid cooling units, and then we also connected down here a third one. That's just a regular fan. Alright, so just plug it in right over here. And now I just realized I do have to screw in the other fans that used to be in the front, now up here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Now remember, we're going to have it sucking air out. So this guy is going to be like this, and then he's just going to be sucking air out. Just fishing that cable through there. Here. Now these are the screws. They screw into the fan. Now if you remember, I said you needed to be a monster to be able to install those. Or a monster installed those. Actually, they're so thick. For here, this is a tiny little hole. So it actually, a monster did screw them in because it is that rough to screw in. Alright, now for the second fan. Curious to see how this is going to look considering they're white lights. But they are going to be dimmed down just a little tiny bit. If you remember, they are going to have a filter. Alright, now with that in place, I'll just go ahead and put that fan filter on the top. Perfect fit. Alright, now I'll just reach this cable across, plug this in also into the header. I really like that they included a fan header here. And plug this guy in here. Okay, and the second one is right over here. So now we have all the fan headers connected. And this fan header, I believe, yeah, it goes right up here. Okay. And that will be going connected surely to the Molex. Just in case for those of you that have never seen it, this is a Molex. They are very rare now. They're old. They were horribly annoying to use way back in the day. Thankfully we've gotten away from them, but they still haunt us a little tiny bit, but not enough to make a huge difference. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, first off, connect these 3 hard drives here and these 3 hard drives here. I'm going to worry about the SATA afterwards. Right now I'm just going to do the power first. As I mentioned, it is a semi-modular power supply. SATA connections don't come installed, so we have to plug them in. Though that will be slightly difficult considering there is no opening over here. So I'm going to have to take the power supply out. And I'm just going to go ahead and connect everything now. So they kind of take the fun out of having a fully modular power supply. And I guess they want you to think ahead of what you're going to plug in first before you plug it in. So actually, before I take that out, let me just go ahead and plug in all the power, just to make sure I don't need extra. I remember on my previous builds, I needed to do some Molex routing and everything, but that's only because everything was so far apart. Everything is really close together now. So I'm going to go ahead and connect SATA power to the bottom drive here. Alright, now I'm going to connect it to the middle drive. And now to the very top drive. Super simple connection right there. Alright, if I wanted to make it nice, just some zip ties. And I'll do that later on, but there you can see, very nice connection. All 3, one SATA connection. All right, and now let's see about these guys. These guys look like they might be slightly harder. You know what? This one didn't connect properly. Because I had it in the back. In the back, it bulges out a little tiny bit, so what I'm going to do is just move them. So give me 1 sec while I do that. I just moved all of these screws from the back to the side. While I was doing that though, I realized, you know what, it wasn't those screws back here bulging it out, it was this screw right down here, which would have been a rivet if I didn't remove it, but I believe it would have still been just as long. So it might still bulge out for you, might not. Just bulges out a little tiny bit more than it should. Alright, now SATA connections. Now I'm thinking maybe I might have the issue I ran into with the other ones. Not sure just yet. You'll find out in a second, along with me. Actually, it looks like I might not. Nope, I didn't. So it is a little bit tight of a fit, but it fits. Alright, so the problem I had before was that this wouldn't reach over here, but that was on a different case. On this case, it seems to be perfectly fine. That's awesome. Again, it is a little tight, but hey, it fits, right? Perfect. Alright, so that just reduced some cabling for me. Alright, so now we have two connections we need to make to the power supply. Alright, the ATX 24 pin is already connected, semi-modular power supply. Two PCIe cables, which branches out to 4 different connections. They're already connected. I'm only going to need one though, because I only have one video card, and it does have you can see right here, 2 8-pins. This is the Sapphire Nitro R9 390, and 2 8-pins. So actually I am going to need both, but you know, I can always get a 6-pin to an 8-pin adapter. That'll work just fine. I'm not going to in this case, but either way. Alright, so now I just need to connect this Molex connection. So, and I still do have Molex. Man, that just reduced my cables by 3 strands. Anyway, so here's my Molex. For those of you that don't know how to install them, alright, you match up these grooves here to these grooves here. And sometimes you can see that pin is a little bit standing up. Just move it with your thumb right back here. Just kind of put them in place. And it should go in relatively easy. If it doesn't, you just have to move it around a little bit. Make sure that the computer is not on when you do this. Molexes, they seem easy to plug in, but you can easily fry a power supply if you're playing with it like I am right now, just trying to get that connection in right, because they are a little bit of a pain in the butt. Like I'm having now. Molex is no fun. For those of you that did not grow up with Molex, you do not know the pain that we have gone through Molex is almost dead. So be very thankful that it is almost dead. Alright, so I am very happy to announce that I only need 3. And I saved myself 3 other strands. Actually, yeah, I did. Jeez, that's amazing. You know what? I will need 1 more strand for the PCIe SSD. So, take that back. I need this guy. 1 more. So I need 3 there. And then 1 for my Molex. Now, I could always get a Molex. You know what? And I think I'll do that. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll feed this one up through the bottom, and then I'll connect another one you may not have seen. This Molex connection, this comes out to 2 SATAs. Alright, so we're in business here. This is beautiful, very happy. Now, the unhappy part is, since I didn't think ahead, I'm going to have to remove that power supply. And if you remember, it was a bit of a pain in the butt to get in there. Alright, so here we go. I hope this time it's easier. Though I kind of doubt it. Yep, because I have... Alright, so I gotta disconnect these guys. But hey, now we know how to connect them. So, a lot easier. So we didn't need to take it out all the way, just enough so that we can connect all these guys here. All these right over here are SATA and hard drive. So I'm just going to connect all of these guys. Don't need to connect any PCIEs. Now mind you, on this board, right back here on the front side of the board, if you remember where I cut out on the case, there is one PCIe 6-pin, but that's if you need additional power, maybe for a 3rd or 4th video card to power the PCIe lanes. We don't have that, so I'm not going to connect it. Sometimes you just gotta punch it. Alright, and I'm gonna skip this part since you've already seen me screw it in. I'll be right back. Alright, that was quick, wasn't it? So, alright, now that we have all the cables connected, let's go ahead and put everything back. Alright, so just gonna slide everything under. At least for this guy. Just gonna go ahead, disconnect these guys. I'm gonna stop the film just for right now since you've already seen me do these. Screwed this back in. Now I did realize something while I was screwing it back in. I'm gonna also have to connect the SATA data cables here. So the reason this is such a pain in the butt, it's my fault, since I put in that door edge guard to making it stand out a little bit more. You don't need to put it. I only put it, to protect my fingers and cables and everything. And you don't need it at all. If your motherboard doesn't have the problem mine did. I just wanted to show you that, you can be versatile in case, you do have that issue. I wanted to show you how to bypass that issue to still be able to use this case. It is a beautiful case, awesome case, so far at least. But you know, it's unfortunately not perfect. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is just install all the cables, every cable. All right, so SATA data right there. All right. Alright, so now we got all three drives connected, all three SATA cables connected, power and data. Alright, and now, might as well, since we're here already, I'm going to go ahead and just connect these three hard drives as well, the mechanical ones. These are a lot easier. Alright, so now the way they want you to install these SATA cables to your motherboard, hopefully we can do it with this motherboard. Table's a mess, so I just don't want to knock anything off of it. Alright, they have a little guard here. They have a guard here so that you can route all your cables behind there. I might run into an issue right here with the 24 pin. I don't know just yet. Now, one very cool thing they allow you to do is, in case none of this fits, you can just take off this guard. Now, I do plan on putting it back, but just to make it easy for me to install, I'm going to remove it for now. There we go. Put that aside just for right now. And you see how that opens up a lot of space right here. Just going to start passing all these cables along. Here's one. And just to make it look nicer, whoops, that's not going to work very well. Alright, I'm just going to pass them all along right on top of each other. Just like that. I'll zip tie it later. Alright, so we got three right there. And then we got three right here. I will get back to that in a little bit. Not too worried about that. That's going to be super simple. Now, what I am worried about is the ATX 24 pin. This behemoth of a cable is always a thorn in my side. And I'm going to set this cable off to the side also. May come back to that one a little bit later. Alright, so then the PCIe connection for the video cards, if you remember, and now that I have most of that out of the way, I can show you easily. Okay, there is this guy right here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fish those cables through there. Bring it back around. Remember, I want to make this look nice. This is a beautiful case. So I want to keep it looking that way. So with all these cables in the way, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. Actually, no, it's not. Goes through there very easily. Feeding all of it right now. I'll pull through what doesn't need to be through in a little bit. Alright. You can see right here. Now, what I could do, I think I'll do that instead. Since I do have to feed this guy through here, this card reaches all the way back there. I wonder if that'll work. I don't think it'll work. So yeah, I'll just feed it through here. You know what? I'd rather make it look nice one time, not have to worry about it. So I'm going to connect the 24 pin. So what I wanted to do is make it reach out through here. The PCIe connections right through here. But I'm afraid with that shroud that it's not going to work. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, first off, let's see if the shroud works with the 24 pin. Alright, so now I'm just going to pull it back. Alright, so over here, these two little guys here, they're going to fit right through here and right through here. It looks like it'll fit perfectly. Let me just make sure. Yep, perfect. Alright, so I can keep it there. Makes me happy. So let's connect these drives. One, just make sure I have all the right ones. Okay, this is the second SATA SSD. Alright, and now the third SSD is right here. Now these are the three mechanical drives. And let's just make sure they're put in there nicely. Don't worry, I'll have to deal with this in a minute. Alright, so I just pulled these guys back out. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and zip tie them here first, just to make them look nice. Just going to try to zip tie them all the way through. Alright, I'll just stop right there. Alright, and now let's take care of this big behemoth of a cable. We'll get in the way every possible way it can. No, that should go this way. And look at that, they added perfectly for this. These little guys here, you can see that right here. These little guys are so that you can fit zip ties through. They add them just around everywhere, you know, right here, pretty much everywhere. So they make this, they try to make this easy as possible so that it looks as beautiful as possible. Remember, they have a glass pane on both sides. Alright, and another one right here.